Any question? Students, today we shall talk about how operating system maintains security. One aspect of the security is that your files are protected and only a desired user can use them. So the method of password is used. But very soon we shall see that there is a method of the password has also requiring security, and how the security for that is to be provided. So for example, there are users and their password is there. Suppose the user is Anil. His password is 17. Tipu. His password is 8. I will repeat it after some time. Jan. Its password is 29. He shall give password to every user. So at the time of login or in case of files, once he types the correct password, then he is permitted the entry. Otherwise, he is not permitted the entry. Is it all right? So a table of password is maintained. A table of passwords is maintained. But how to give security to this table? Correct? Any question? So we would like that I am repeating it from the beginning. How operating system will make your files safe. Only you will be permitted to use those files. How operating system is able to maintain it? It is by the method of giving password. Every user is given some password. I have taken it in the form of number, but they may be in some other form also. And Those passwords are stored in some file by the operating system. When a user tries to log in, then the password matching is done. And if the passwords can match, then the user is permitted to enter to the system. Is it correct? Now, the table of the password is in the form of a file. This itself is stored somewhere. And what happens if this table is leaked? Someone is able to see this table itself. So the password of all other users are known to him. And he can give those password and can do the entry. So this is what I want to say, and this is what I want to ask. How to maintain the security of this table? Do you have some suggestion in the mind? Is it correct? Yes. And you may even ask some other question also. Any question? But how the hash function will become helpful? You see, hashing is not coming into picture. That is correct. You see, that in this way anything can be done. But assume that brute force is a method which is very time consuming method. Is it correct? So assuming that nothing can be done as far as the brute force is concerned. So you forget about it. You see, passwords of two people can be the same. Hurry. His password is suppose also 8. So what is the harm in it? A person no brute force method can be stopped by limit the login attempts. But you see, our problem is this, that this table of the password will be stored and a person can have a access to this table also. So if the file of the password is visible, how we shall protect the file of passwords? So this is the question. If the two people have the same password, then there is no problem. In the beginning, login name will be asked. If he says Deepu and gives the password 8, in the area of Deepu, he will be permitted. And if he gives Hari and then password 8, he will be permitted in the area of Hari. So two people can have the same password, that is not a problem. Is it correct? Yes. Assuming that the brute force technique doesn't work. My problem is, you see, yes, we can give password to a password file, you are fully correct. But where that password will be stored by the operating system? Is it correct? That will also be a problem. Niranjan, we can give the password to the password file also. But to store that file, operating system will store it on the disk only. User's name, yes, user names will be different. And different user names are always maintained. Is it correct? What is the problem? So, how to protect the table of password? So the passwords will not be stored. How to stop it? As you have told that no user should have access to the password file. How to stop a user to access the password file? Everything is in the disk. Is it correct? Everything is in the disk. Okay. How to stop a user from accessing the password file? Is this all right? Yes. How to give security to this password file? Is it correct? This is issue. Method number one. Do not store password. Store coded password. Is it correct? This is store coded password. Say coding scheme is coding scheme is 2 into password plus 5. This is our coding scheme. So we are storing it in coding scheme, CP. We have followed some coding scheme. Password will not be stored. Only coded password will be stored. So coded password of this will be 2. If actual password is 17, the coded password will be 39. If actual password is 8, the coded password will be 21. If it is 29, then it will be 63. And if it is 8, then it will be 21. Is it correct? So do not store password, store coded password. Is it correct? So that is correct. So coded password will be stored. Even if coded password is known, a user cannot log in. Is it correct? Let coded password will be stored. If coded password is known, you cannot log in. Let someone knows coded password of Anil 39. 39. If he gives 39 as a password, he will not be permitted. Is it correct? By giving 39 as a password, he will not be permitted the entry. Do you understand it? That is correct. How to protect the coding scheme? How to protect the coding scheme? If someone comes to know that coding scheme is 2p plus 5, then he can solve 2p plus 5 equal to 39 and p equal to 17 can be obtained. Is it correct or not? How to protect the coding scheme? Coding scheme is also going to be stored somewhere. How to protect that coding scheme? Is it correct? Yes. Okay. How to protect the coding scheme? If coding scheme is known and coded password is known, then original password can be obtained. Coding scheme is also known. So you can solve this equation and you can get the answer. Is your doubt clear? So, is this problem is not solved? Is it correct? We are not storing password, fine. We are storing coded password. And there is a coding scheme also. Coding scheme is to be stored somewhere. If the coding scheme and the coded password is known, then you can know the original password. Is this all right to you? So we shall see what is the solution to this problem. How to protect the coding scheme and the coded password both together? Give me the solution. Because coding scheme is known and coded password is known, then the equation can be solved. How to do protection now? What is zero knowledge password? Suppose coding scheme is this. Coding scheme is password cube plus 7 into password plus 29. Suppose this is a coding scheme which has been given. Is it correct? Let T equal to 5. Password is 5. So 125 plus 35 plus 29 is equal to is modulo can be done, but modulo can be done, and rather it is done. We shall be coming to the modulo a little bit later. Each coded password. So suppose Jalaj has got a password 5. So it is zero knowledge password. Zero knowledge password. What is zero knowledge password? We shall talk about. That is, what do you mean by saying non-breakable password? Now, what is zero knowledge password? Coding scheme is such that decoding scheme is not known. Is this all right? You see, zero knowledge password means even after knowing coding scheme, and coded password. The actual password cannot be obtained. Is it correct? This is called a zero knowledge password scheme. No, it is not that easy. Is it correct? Solving this equation is not easy. Is it correct? Here, hit and trial is involved, or sequentially checking over a large interval is needed. But there is no direct method for decoding, Nilanjan. Is it correct? What is your doubt now? That is correct. Then the question is this: how OS will know the actual password? Because we have made a coding scheme in such a manner which cannot be decoded. Zero knowledge password means coding scheme cannot be reversed. How will OS know the actual password? You give me the answer of it. That is correct. OS need not to know the actual password. OS need not to know the actual password. That is correct. Is this correct? Why OS don't need to know the actual password? When Deepu, no, no Kasif. Coded password will not be treated as a true password. Wrong. Because the coded password is visible. When Jalaj want to, that is correct. Suman has written it correctly. When Jalaj want to enter, login, he will give password. He will give password. A claimed password will be coded under given scheme. If code matches with the coded password, then entry permitted. Is it correct? That is good thing. I will be coming to this. So do you understand this? OS stores the coding scheme and the coded password. When someone wants to enter, he will give his claimed password. The claimed password will be coded under the given coding scheme. And if the code is stored, I am coming to Sir. Sri Krishna, I am coming to it. Is it correct? Tushar and Sri Krishna, I am coming to it. Now, if coded password matches with the code of the claimed password under the given coding scheme, then the entry is permitted. So OS don't need to know the original password. OS only need to know the coding scheme and the coded password. Is it correct? Yes. Any doubt? Because our coding scheme is such which cannot be reverted. Our coding scheme cannot be reverted. Is it correct? Yes. Is this all right to you? Coding scheme cannot be reverted. Yes, it is a non-invertible function. Suman, it is correct. Now, some small problem is there. Let you see now much more complicated coding schemes are coming which cannot be reverted. So this is not a problem. Is it correct? Okay. We may not have an equation of the type PQ. We can have the equation of the type P to the raised power P. Do you understand? Okay. More complicated coding scheme can always be made. You see, making harder coding scheme is very simple. Is it correct? We can always complicate our coding scheme P to the raised power P plus something, something, something. So making harder coding scheme is not a problem. Is it correct? So that is not a problem. We can always get a function which cannot be inverted. That is correct. It will not make any difference. It will be coded as 25 minus 65 plus 10. This is equal to minus 30. Okay. Let claimed password is 8. Claimed password is 8. So 64 minus 104 plus 10 is also equal to minus 30. What I mean to say is that even by wrong password, a person can get an entry. Is it correct? Yes. Yes. But that is not important. We don't have to use it. So, but the probability of this is very low. Is it correct? Every wrong password will not give you entry. That is correct. Harshvardhan has written the correct things. Nilanjan has also written it. Why do we use odd polynomials with single root? Even if it has got multiple roots, every wrong root, every wrong password will not give you entry. Very less wrong password will give you entry. Suman, is your doubt clear? And Suman and Tushar, is it correct? So you are correct. Even by a wrong password, you can get entry, but every wrong password will not give you entry. Is these things are clear to you? So the problem is solved. We make a coding scheme where inversion is not possible. Is this all right to you? Is it clear to you? That is correct. Yes, Harshvardhan, you are correct. Very few will be there. Very few passwords will be there. Is it correct? Yes. Any more doubt? Any doubt? Any question? So, coding scheme is such where decoding is almost impossible. Coding scheme is such so that decoding is very hard. Decoding is hard, not easy. Person has to make many hit and trials. Is this clear to you? It is called zero knowledge password. Is it clear to you? Now, there is this is a file in which you can see all the coded password in some Unix system. Is it correct? Maybe that the file name may be different sometimes. So getting the coded password is not a problem nowadays. You can always see the coded password of others. And even if the coding scheme is known, you cannot know the original password. Is it correct? It stores coded password. Is this correct to you or not? What is the disadvantage of such scheme? Can someone suggest me? Our conclusion is this, that the coding scheme is such a function whose inversion is not possible. Coding scheme is known to the users. Niranjan, coding scheme is known to the user and coded password is also known to the user. But he cannot get the original password because coding scheme is such so that decoding is very hard. Is it correct? So this is what I am telling. What else is your doubt? Yes, the problem is this. What happens? in some file. Coding is scheme is you stored in some file, and coding scheme is known to every person. Is it correct? Any person can see this file. Coded password also any person can see. But you see, by giving coded password, you don't get entry. You have to give the actual password. So reversion of that is not possible. Is it correct? That is correct. Little bit more complicated coding scheme can be made. Is this correct? Yes. Shai Krishna, you are correct. What else is your doubt? Coding scheme and coded password are visible to every person. What is your doubt now? Now, as someone has told, what happens if someone forgets password? Okay. Certainly, he will go to a system administrator, not to the machine. How to get the original password, even if his authenticity is known? What is a solution to this problem? Yes, but the question is this, that to permit the change in the password also, what is required? Any person cannot change any password. In the beginning, true password is required so that we can know that he is a true person. Then his password can be changed. Is this correct? Yes. So if a person forgets password, he cannot go to machine. No, you see, it will not become helpful because our coding scheme is such where decoding is not possible. Is it correct? Now, how to make such thing? Coding scheme is, then we come on public key system. What are those systems? Coding scheme satisfies following property. What does coding scheme satisfies? Coding should be easy. Coding is coding is easy. Decoding in general is hard. Decoding is easy for the designer of the coding scheme. Is it correct? So our coding scheme will be of two natures. In general, you cannot decode. But the person who has designed the coding scheme, for example, key system. What is key system? Putting the lock is very easy. Any person who has key can easily open the lock. Any general person cannot open the lock. So we shall have such a scheme, and we shall see how such a scheme is designed. Is it correct? So a lock-based coding scheme will be used. Let us see what is that coding scheme. Okay. Let. No, system administrator will not know the actual password. System administrator have designed the coding scheme, and I will tell you what the system administrator knows and what operating system knows. Is it correct? The operating system knows the coding scheme, but the system administrator knows the method of designing the coding scheme. So there is a difference between these two. Is it correct? Okay, let the coding scheme is this. Password is say 7. What is coded password? It's 7 into 187 plus 59. How much it is? Is it correct? That is correct. How to decode it? To know actual password. 1368 minus 59 by 187 is done. Is it correct? We all know multiplication is an easy thing. Multiplying by 187 is easy, but division by 187 is hard. Do you understand? Multiplication is a easy. X into Y is easy. Z by Y is hard. Is it correct? So to get actual password, division by 187 is involved, which is very hard. Is it correct? Yes. OS have stored 187 plus 59. Do you understand? Multiplication by 187 OS will do every time when a person gives claimed password, and will try to match it by adding 59. Every person knows the coding scheme, but to decode Division by 187 is involved, which is hard. That is correct. Nilanjan has written the correct thing. Complexity is more in case of division. Is it correct? Complexity is more in case of division. So, any person cannot do division by 187. Any person cannot do. By 187. Is it correct? Yes. Now, is the things are correct understood to you? Our coding scheme is easy. Division by 187 is hard. No. In case of calculator also, in place of 187, some bigger number will be taken. Even with calculators, it will become difficult now. Do you understand, Prabhat? Is it correct? Is it correct? Yes. Even with calculators, by taking bigger numbers, division is not easy. However, multiplication is easy. Yes. Now, is the problem is solved? But there is one question which everyone should ask now. How will system administrator will do the decoding if someone forgets the password? How? Administrator. How the system administrator will decode it? Tell me. How the system administrator will decode it? System administrator will not divide by 187. System administrator will not divide by 187. He divides by 17 and 11, not by 187. Let us see this. Yes. 1368 upon 17 is what? That is correct. Okay. Any OS stores 187 P plus 59. But system administrator knows the factor of 187. In OS stores 187 P plus 59. Administrator knows 187 is equal to 17 into 11. 17 into 11 are not stored in the disk. They are only known to the system administrator. Is it correct? So system administrator can divide it 2 times by small numbers. hence can get the original password. Is it clear to you? Any doubt? Any doubt? Ask your question. System administrator knows the factor of 187. That is not important here. Subtraction by 59 is not important. No, because if some bona fide user comes and he says, I am forgotten the password, and the system administrator is able to know the identity of the person is really genuine, then he will permit him for that purpose. Is it correct? Yes. That is correct. Pranav has written it correct thing. Now the question comes, how system administrator knows the factor of 187 and a general user doesn't know it? That is also an issue. How factors of 187 are known to administrator? But why not anyone else can know the factor? We assume factorization is not easy. But how the system administration is able to know the factors? System administration doesn't know the factor. System administrator took two small primes. Took A and B, two primes, that is correct. Not it is like a RSA. It is RSA only. It is RSA only. In RSA, we do exponentiation and here we are doing multiplication. No, Jannat, you are wrong. He has, because if he can try all primes between 2 to 187, then any other person can also try it. We assume that the trying primes is not easy. Is it correct? Because if he can try, then others can also try. Is it correct? Yes. Forget about RSA. Nilanjan, forget about RSA. Is it correct? System administrator took two primes A and B. K equal to A into B is done by him. In OS, K is stored. K is stored. Coded password is stored. Now, multiplication by K is easy. Division by K is hard. But system administration can easily divide it by K. How? Administrator can easily divide it by K. K by dividing by A and B. Conclusion. Getting factor of a number is not easy. You cannot get factor of a number. However, getting a fact number whose factors are known is easy. Is it clear to you? Understood? You can ask your doubt. If I give you a number, factorization is not easy. But if I tell you, make a number whose factors are known to you, is very easy. You take two arbitrary numbers and multiply them. You can always know their factors. Is it clear to you? So this is public key crypto system. You see, it doesn't make a difference. Is it correct? Once we can factorize it and can break it into small parts, then the things become easy. Class is over. Discussion can be done.
Sir, what is system administrator, sir?
A person who controls the operating system, who is the in charge of our computer center in IIT Kharagpur. That is correct. We will deliberately put a number between addition part will be from 0 to 187. Harshvardhan, addition part will be from 0 to 187. That is correct. System administrator chooses a process. You see, no. If he will try to choose a process whose decoding is very hard, then it will be very hard for him also. So Niranjan, whatever Niranjan is saying is wrong. I have never told that knowing the smaller password is helpful. I have never told Tushar. Is it correct? I have never told. I am saying dividing by small numbers is easy. Dividing by big numbers is hard. If you know the factors of a number, then you can easily divide. System administrator is storing the factors. Is it correct? Yes, yes. I am giving you the notes. Okay.